Hey, and welcome to this lesson on JSFiddle. This is more than a lesson on JSFiddle. Very cool tool to use out online so you could practice coding, but it's beyond also practicing coding. It's just getting into the process of how to create things. And through this, you could start to think about how to create things like this interactive experience. So this experience is all coded using HTML and JavaScript. And of course, a little 3D modeling, but the 3D modeling part, the 3D modeling is just something you add to get the visuals going. Or maybe you want to create an effect like this for TikTok or your favorite social platform. It all begins with just understanding how code kind of works. You don't have to know the very minute details, just in general how things work, and then you drill down to the minute details later on. And from this, just from this general concept of how things work, you can start building almost anything. Or at the very least, you can start to communicate your ideas in a much better way so people could share in the process of creating what you like. JSFiddle, wonderful online tool. Later on in other videos, I'll show you how to use IDEs, integrated development environments that are not on the web. For now, JSFiddle is a great place to start, especially if you're beginning or you just happen to not be in front of your normal computer with all your cool things installed. JSFiddle will allow you to develop things, think about things, think of it as a scratch pad. And in the latest version of JSFiddle, you can collaborate. Who doesn't want someone looking over your shoulder as you code? But it's very helpful. Maybe you want to experiment with a friend or an instructor or just share this moment with whoever. You can do that with JSFiddle and help you get your coding, your ideas done in a collaborative way. Right now, we're going to start with just the basics. Before we begin, remember, with code, you create experiences like this, and if you're interested in going beyond code, like where will this all go, you should check out the description below, because in the description below, I have a link to one of my courses, which is about 3D fundamentals. You know 3D, you know how to create art, you know how to put those concepts together. Together, you can build games and other cool interactive experiences. All right, let's start this one. At this URL. Every time you save, you get a version of that URL. So it's not the same exact URL. It has /1234, and that's excellent for increasing the version numbers as things go. But remember, if you have one hyperlink, it's going to be different if you saved it a few times. So always check out your hyperlinks. All right, let's look at the spaces here. In the spaces, HTML, where you type in the raw code. Now, if you're into coding, you know there's all these document headers and body/HTML. And you don't need to type all that here. You just type in the pure code, and or just a word like hi. If we want to keep it traditional, it's hello world. And you click on save, of course. You didn't have to run it, but it's nice. You either save or run. And I'll do the next one is run. And down here is the results. So your HTML, which is the content of the page, plus CSS style sheets. Get to that in another lesson, but we'll see a little bit of that today in this video. And JavaScript, we'll also see a little bit of that today. So what's the difference between these, like functional wise? HTML is the things that are displayed out on the page. JavaScript will make it interactive or kind of reform the page. We're talking about React, everything's a component. So you can think about these as little modules that content pours into, is displayed onto the page, and style sheets is what makes everything look pretty, but style sheets go beyond cool, pretty style. It also can be something of a little interactive like animations and things you click on, hover states as well with style sheets. So let's go back to maybe I want to shout hello world. I don't have to save it. I could just hit run like this, and then you'll see the results here. Now this is so tiny to see, right? And sure, I'll zoom in on this like that, and now you can see it a little bigger. But if we want to get it bigger, we should look into styles, and we could just start out with, usually it's style, stuff defined, and then /style when you're coding this in IDE or out in Notepad. Here you don't need all those beginning and ending elements. You could just start to type in a style. And what style would I want to type in? I don't know. We'll just say maybe it's my hello style. It could be anything. So that defines a style. A dot, hello, bracket, curly Q, bracket. And I'm not going to go deep on this in this video. Other videos go into styles, JavaScript, more HTML. This is just really about getting started using JSFiddle so you can start creating. So font hyphen size, how big a font will be, followed by a colon. I'm going to use something like 50 pixels. There's different units of measurements to define fonts. I'm going to use 50 pixels here. You have a style defined dot hello. To apply this to the page, would have been simpler if I just went body. To get this going, I'll use the span tag. So span tag has a beginning, opening, and a closing of the elements. Let me just move that closing element afterwards. And still, we need to connect the style dot hello to the span, the content within the span. To do that, you use class is equal to, and even though it's defined as dot hello, here you just write hello. Click on run. Look at that, right? Maybe I'll teach you one other little style to add to this. Well, I could teach you two. One could be color, and there's hexadecimals, but you could just type in the word like blue. There's some predefined words out there. Another lesson, again, we'll go over all this. And another one will be font family. And this is where styles start coming. Very interesting, very useful. You can import different fonts. You can connect to like Google Fonts. Excellent. And here, I just want sans, S-A-N-S, and watch what happens when I type something correctly. Look at that, it changed color. That's why IDE is much better than Notepad, even JSFiddle, much better than just pure Notepad. So to see it in action, just click on run. Gets rid of all those little serifs on the letters. Excellent, right? Well, maybe not excellent, but you're beginning to come into control of this. Let's do something a little bigger. Let's say your favorite singer is in town and you want to remake their bio just for them, right? And share it out there on the web through JSFiddle, because this link you can share anywhere. Maybe not the best idea, but you can do it. I'm going to just paste that block of text, and here's a lesson for you in HTML land. When I click on run, look what's going to happen. Just gets all smushed together. Why? HTML, hypertext markup language. You have to define the markup, the spacing in between things, the stylization. So the span tag was blocking out things, so then we could wire in a style. You have to do the same thing here, how to separate things. Just for the basics, paragraph tag, P tag. Now, there's different ways you could go about it. If this was a React project, instead of the P tag, I might use divs. I probably would use divs, not might. For this one, for this little project, just an experiment, I'm going to use the paragraph tag. There, /P. See, opening statement, P/P to close a statement. You're always encapsulating things. You don't want code content to leak all over the place, especially in React, but not just especially in React. You're not supposed to let code leak. So if there's a closing tag associated with that element, use the closing tag with it. P, and I know it automatically does /P. I guess I'll just copy this, paste it in here, click on run, and there's the paragraphs are now separated by some space. Each container is a paragraph, and just like before, maybe this paragraph tag has that same hello class connected to it. Class equals hello. Click on run, and that first paragraph, way too big. But we could adjust that. Instead of 50, maybe we'll bring it down to 30. What about the rest of the page? I guess I will show you a little more about styles here. What is the default size of the page? The default font family for the page? Body. Now, when you get a little bit deeper into learning about HTML, the body tag is everything that is displayed within the browser is contained within the body tag. Body/body. That means instead of putting a dot here, since it's predefined, it's a working element of the page to display things, much like paragraph tag is a working element. It's there. It's a container that's part of the language. So I could start out with font size, and this will be a global on the whole page. Let's say it's 18 pixels. If I hit run, you see this got bigger. Now, why didn't this shrink? Because this paragraph has hello class attached to it. So even though the whole page is now 18 points, whatever I define within that page element takes precedence. This one is 18 points. That also means, kind of like we can make the whole page font family. Could I copy and paste? Sure. Copying and pasting is very good when you're doing HTML because typos will definitely mess up your page. The font family, and I'll go sans serif again, and got to change color, so no, I did it correctly. Semicolon, run. So the whole page would be sans serif, and in particular, this upper one, let's say I remove sans serif from there, it still will be sans serif if I hit run. Why? Because there's nothing overriding that font family. What if, I'll hit undo, what if I said, you know what? Just that hello one would be serif. Click. So serif on top, because hello is defined here, and the whole page is sans serif, and since hello is overriding, this class is overriding the global page, that's how you can stylize your elements. I know this may be a lot, but the takeaway is how to use JSFiddle. You type in your content here, you define the stylization of your content over here, and any JavaScript would come here. And I did mention I would cover a little bit of JavaScript just so you can see it in action. So one thing that we could do with JavaScript is overwrite these containers of information that we create. And this is the most important part of understanding all of coding. C# to this. We're making objects containers, these little capsules that have information or have other code in it or other functions in it that we can then copy and paste and stamp out to do more with it. Or this container is just a shell that we pour in content here, and then the next container we pour in different content, but they're similar. So if we're talking about a video game, we want to teach one character to know how to run, jump, and walk, right? And then take that code and apply it to all your characters in the game. This way you're not recreating the same code over and over and over again to build out a game. So the object level, container level is very important to understand how to create things. And when you think of ideas, when you're communicating your idea to someone, your idea could go like that. But then it takes, a little few seconds to figure out, it's really a repeating pattern. And if you can figure out that repeating pattern and putting it into these smaller containers, anyone can understand your idea and build your idea. We'll save images for another time. Okay, the final thing is to show you a little bit about JavaScript. Again, some other time, I'm going to show you images, another video. Right now, just want to cover everything, which includes the collaborate at the very end. Don't miss that. It's coming up. I'm going to make a variable, and that variable name could be anything. I'm going to just call it Fox. I probably should call it first paragraph, right? Makes a lot more sense. First paragraph. But variables are variables. In this video, I want something easy to type, very short. So that's it. So this variables can contain information, then do something for us. So go to the document. And what is a document? That's the whole page. So look at this whole page. If it was a browser page, everything that you see within that browser window. Use a query selector to go find .hello. So out on this whole page, go to the document and find hello. And hello's here, but it's just not finding hello. It's finding this whole container of hello. Not just that word, everything between the paragraph and / paragraph. All right, what can we do with that? We can set it to something else. You found all that. Now set its inner HTML, the stuff between the paragraph tag and the slash paragraph tag, the opening and closing elements, and set that equal to goodbye for now, but not quite, because we still have collaborate to go over. When you run this, look at that. Instantly, this information has been changed. So this shows, or it's the concept of, you can have things that are defined. You can have a game character that's defined. It's wearing a particular shirt, a Hawaiian-like shirt. And later on, you want to target this object of a shirt or of a paragraph and maybe change its texture. Just like, oh, you thought I would do one of those TikTok things where the shirt changes? Not happening here. But I could have done that. And that would show the example of you could target different elements of an object, different attributes of an object, or in this case, something in the container using JavaScript here or C# code. It's all the same idea. You have an object, you have attributes within the object that can be communicated with to change it. Where would you use this in like HTML land? Maybe someone fills out a form or someone clicks on a button and you want to serve them up a new image, new content. So you design the whole layout, and each container of the layout gets flowed in with new information when you click. Upon click, change up that information. Or you know things about that person behind the scenes using analytics, naughty of you, and you could change up the content based upon knowing that actual person visiting the site. Or if it's game player, maybe you want to make that level harder, and what makes level harder? Objects within the level. Maybe you put another game creature within that level, or maybe you kind of make it a little harder to achieve a level up based upon just changing how many hits it takes to open up a loot box to make you accelerate and get more life within a game. One last thing to cover. So we have HTML up here, CSS here as a review, and your JavaScript here. I could delete my JavaScript like this, hit run again. We're back to this information. So JavaScript can override information on the page. If I remove my styles from here, hit run again, we're back to the base page of paragraph, paragraph, and paragraph. So last fun thing to cover is collaborating. I hit refresh in the browser just to start out nice and clean. Save the project. And now click on collaborate. You could click the plus sign. This is my identity for now. You click on the plus sign and you get this code, copy it, and you would email it, IM it, text it to your friend, your teacher, someone who you are collaborating with. And assuming they're somewhere out there, let me make a new browser window. I'm going to undock it, move it over here. And I'm going to move this one aside a little bit, get them side by side going, pasting that URL. Look at this. We got something going on here. As I move my mouse, you'll see the mouse move on your real browser. If I type in the word hello here, where we kind of started out this whole lesson, you see hellos over here. And if I go to my second identity and say world, you see it shows up there. Clicking on run, hello world shows up here, and I click on run here, hello world shows up there. Exclamation point, because I'm shouting hello world. Click on run, it's here, and look, it's there too. And welcome to the end of this video. I shouted it again. Click on run, and just like this, you can collaborate with others. Hope you enjoyed this introduction to JSFiddle. Again, it's about introduction to interactivity, just thinking how things live in different compartments or different objects. And with JSFiddle, it's organized into the main parts of a web page, the content area, the JavaScript, that's the interactive part, and CSS for the styling part of web page. With this knowledge, go have some fun, go play, and finding your favorite talent and make them a personalized moment using JSFiddle and send it to them. Well, try to send it to them anyway. Bye. See you in the next video.